Forging the elements with the Tao of Iron. What does that even mean? Why should I care? And what's this channel even about? Well, maintain your focus because we are about to find out. Hey guys, this is a 6-part video series explaining my philosophy behind my channel and how you can benefit from it. This video will be the first part of the series where I'll briefly introduce myself, my background, and the upcoming topics. So let's get started. For those who may be new to my channel, my name is Gabe Cuello, pronounced Cuello. I was born and raised in New York, lived in Tampa, Florida throughout my high school life, made a handful of meaningful bonds, and learned about the corporate world, a world that I could never continue seeing myself in. It was here that I started to feel stuck, lost, and confused with life. I just felt that I was meant for more and capable for more. I refused to settle with this life and realized that the only way I could ever feel alive and purposeful was to let go of my old self and create the desired version of myself. I didn't know where to start, how it might look, or the end result. I just knew that I was angry with myself, my life, and its direction. I was afraid of change, but my rage was just not having it. It wasn't willing to accept being average. And so I looked deep, real deep, and faced some harsh, painful truths and realized what I needed to do. And that was to trust myself. This is when I took a bus on a dark, cold morning to a mysterious island. An island known to be the home of where the fiercest warriors are forged and where the sand fleas were like dragons. This island is known as Parris Island, where I became a man. And if you are watching this are from MCRD San Diego, get out of my channel. After that life, I lived through several new adventures on the island of Oahu, where I met some of my closest friends and discovered the great importance of integrating the training of the mind and the body. This is when I discovered the Tao of Iron in its infancy. I wanted to develop it further, but realized I had my own milestones I needed to accomplish or complete before I was ready to talk about this philosophy. In fact, this philosophy was just not clear. So I knew I needed to continue going forth with my journey to make sense of it. That's when I began my chapter and moved to California, here, for school and work. I am now a graduate of sports psychology, also known as performance enhancement or mental skills. Though it says sports psych, it's still applicable outside of the realm of sports. I'm also growing my knowledge in exercise science for myself and my training, but at the same time to better serve you, my viewers. With this background, I was fortunate enough to work with gym members, fitness professionals, athletes, and coaches of various sports, and the military to help them with fitness, cognitive performances, and resilience. As you can see, this path has led me here. Without it, I wouldn't be here, ready and capable to give back all of what was gained. Now that you got to learn a little bit more about me, let's get right into what we can expect in our upcoming videos. The elements. In this part of the video series, we're going to discuss what the elements are, what it consists of, and why it matters to everyone, especially those who seek to improve performances and quality of life. The elements is my way of saying the performance components of the mind and the body. My belief is that by focusing and developing the elements of the mind and body, are we able to experience the elements of the spirit, one that can only be defined by an individual's experiences. The elements of the spirit are on here, but not something we will heavily focus on in this channel. Our focus here is mostly on the mind and body, things we have greater control over. Each element will have its own video to ensure clarity and room for discussion in the comment sections below. Next up is the forging. Forging is my way of describing the integration of the performance components of the mind and the body. Though it may seem that developing one of the elements is enough, This part of the video series will explain why it is important to forge the elements and what potential consequences are if we do not. Forging, in its literal meaning, is to make or shape with heat or in a furnace by beating or hammering it. The point here is that heat, well, is not easy to endure, but is what helps us create and make into shape. I like to think of this as how we would make our own swords with the elements we have developed. And finally, the Tao of Iron, or the way of the iron. This essentially means how the way of life is. The iron, philosophically speaking, symbolizes strength, courage, growth, and resilience. My analogy of the iron is like the weights in the gym. To build size, to build strength, you gotta lift the iron. The Tao of Iron is an expression of life and what's between. That it can only be experienced and that we have no control over it. We do, however, have control over how we handle the iron, how we develop the elements and forge them. This is how we test our forged creation and accept its outcomes as they are. It's here that we discover our path and potential. This is my philosophy of the Tao of Iron. Next up in our video series is the elements of the mind. Here, we will go in deeper on what its contents are and why they matter for everyone, especially those who are seeking to improve performances and their quality of life. That concludes my video. Thanks for watching it through its entirety. If you liked the video and would like to see my future content, subscribe. If you know someone who can benefit from this video or this channel, share it, because you never know whose life you might inspire to become the change.